Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you're listening. I have Barbara Jorgensen. Is that how you say
Yeah,
it? Awesome.
Jorgensen, yes.
Okay. And she is a Squarespace website and brand designer. She helps online female coaches gain the visibility they need to grow their business so they can impact more clients through their work and as a result make more money. Well, sounds like a win there. She aims to enable coaches to inspire others in an authentic way through their website and brand. And I will have the links to her website and Instagram and anywhere else you can find her below. All right, well, welcome to my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to learn about your business. So what, you want to give me like a quick what you do besides your intro?
Well, yeah, I'm a web designer and a brand designer, and I help clients to get more focus on their brand. I think sometimes they think like brand is just logos and colors and that's it. And it's much more than that. It's actually finding your voice and how can you put your voice into your website. So that's what I help them with, to find their voice and be authentic and then build a website through that.
Nice. And so what kind of steps do you take with your clients to kind of get them to understand what their brand is? Because not everyone probably knows right off the bat.
That's true. One of the first things they do is finding their why. I think this is very important for people. Why do you started that business? And my client right now, the one I'm working, she's been working for like 10 years. And then she told me, when you asked me that question, I just couldn't remember. Like I had to go back to 10 years ago and like, why I actually started it, like what was the reason, right? So I think it's very important because once you know your why, then things start to follow, little by little, and then you know your values, and then you know what people really want from you, and then you start to follow that flow. That is really nice when you have a brand.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's always the first question that business coaches ask, because sometimes people, let's say they've been in business for 10 years, like they might have veered off of where they wanted to be. And so, helping find their why brings them back onto like why they love doing what they do, not maybe chasing the money or the easy or, something like that. Sometimes It's like, well, that's the logical choice, but what feeds my soul?
Exactly. And I think along the way, sometimes you forget, right? And then you have to have a reminder. So it's really nice reminder, especially because a lot of people think websites, they're just websites. They're just like, they're there to find to information. But actually, no, websites, the first touch sometimes clients have from you. If they don't find you from social media, then they found you from Google. And that's the first touch, that is touching base. So it's so important that when they touch base, they know you, like they find you through the colors, through the story, through the text, so they can have that connection, and they want to work with you.
Yeah, I feel like when we are meeting people in person, you kind of get that feeling for their energy in person, and it's lost so much online. And I feel like that is the hardest part of transitioning an online business, is how do people get to know me before they know me, and how do they feel my energy before getting on a phone call?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. So that's why I try to help my clients through that. And then that's one of the first exercises. And then they go through the second exercise, that is writing their copy. So it's much easier for them once they go to the brand exercise to write the copy, because they already in the flow. They already know where they're going, what they want to share, and it's so authentic. It's beautiful. It's really nice.
What is the length of this journey that they go through with you? Is it like a few weeks, or do you make it like a longer experience?
We do it well, the whole process is 4 weeks. So they work with themselves with the homework for like 2 weeks, because I really like them get very serious, very deep. I don't want to rush them. And then we build the website once we find the voice. So nice. Yeah, the whole process is 4 weeks.
Nice. Well, that's what you do. Let's learn about how you got there. So what is your why? Why did you start this business?
Yeah, well, I've always been a 9-to-5 girl all my life. I finished college, and then I started working in Mexico. I'm from Mexico. And then my husband, I met my husband, he's Danish. And then, we fell in love. We moved to Denmark, and I continued working in the corporate world because that's what I knew. That's what, fits for me. I'm always been the right hand of managers, directors, etc. And then 3 years ago, I stopped working because I had babies, and then my babies, of course, were, being alone in another country with 2 kids. That's not easy. And we don't have that big of a support system here, just my husband and I mostly. So I decided to stop working, and fortunately some things came into my life, and I got a depression. I was sick with depression. And now I thank my sickness because it showed me a new way, It showed me that I just couldn't come back to a 9 to 5. It was just too much for me, plus my family. So I needed to find something else. And web design has always been, I'm actually in high school, I learned how to code. So so it's always been there, somehow. So I thought, maybe I can use this. Maybe other people will also need this. And so I took an extra course, and then I love it. I started working with Squarespace, and that's it. I just started.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that it's, moms, whether they lose their identity when they're home with their kids, or even go back to work and lose their identity as a mom with a 9 to 5, because I'm the opposite. I went right back to work with a baby, and you have too much going on, and kind of the same thing happens, and you're just like, to me, I need to set my own hours, which start probably small, so that you can gradually get yourself back to a good place emotionally and physically. So
exactly.
I don't think that like the postpartum depression is not only for moms that, don't go back to work or do go back to work or anything. Like it doesn't, it's everybody. And
exactly.
I think I've met more moms with postpartum depression than moms without postpartum depression.
Completely. And sometimes you don't even know you have it, because it presents for me way after, way after the baby, 2 years after, where I start to feel like, okay, something is not right here. And I had to have a step back and see my life in a different way. And it's funny because those dark times brought a lot of light at the end,
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. So what was like a big challenge that you had to overcome besides, your personal depression?
Starting actually the business, because I think a lot of us, we want to be there, but you're having this, you're so afraid of letting loose, and sometimes it's easier to come back to the things and so making that step forward and say, okay, now I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna really get in serious, that's very difficult. That was for me the biggest struggle. Once I overcome, that part, then things start rolling, But that for me was that was a challenge.
Yeah, I had a strategy session the other day with somebody who, she was all hung up on, in her mind and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, let's say you get a client tomorrow. How are you going to accept money? And like her brain exploded. Like she was just like, wait. Like, I can't even get past my own thoughts. And then you go, how do I collect money? And I don't have a way to do it. It was just, it was like, okay, forget the self-doubt. Just start from the next step, but it's not only for that too. I mean, I think that mindset, I've spoken to a couple people, on through the podcast and otherwise, that mindset is something that you might not need every day, but it's always going to come back, because you're always going to have days of self-doubt. So, it's not even like it's okay, I've overcome it, it's never going to come back again.
No. I wish it was like that, but it's not. And it's not just about business. It can be about life in general. I mean, like, oh, this week is very difficult, and I have the kids, and the kids have this, and oh, can I do? Of course you can, but you always have these questions, in your brain, and that's life in general.
Yeah, but it's so many times it keeps people from even starting, like just getting past step one, and it's like, it's going to come back. You might as well get past step one and keep going.
I keep going.
Yeah. So what would you say was one of your biggest wins as a business owner? Like, not maybe financially, but like a big, like, aha, I got it.
I think once I started with, finding why I was doing this, and then started, and then see that actually I could, because I think I was a lot of self-doubt, like, can I really do this? Can I really? But once you see, yes, you can, and yes, it's gonna work, and things are not that difficult for me. Also, like setting up like my accounts, like with the government, you know, like taxes and things. I thought like this is just Chinese, like I don't understand, you know.
It's
But
a
then
lot.
once you start, yeah, but then once you start figuring out, you start having all those small wins, you know, that they make such a big change in your life. You're like, okay, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. And then you start having like, you feel empowered, you know, and you just can't. I think it's very, very important to really have those small wins, but also embrace them and you know, celebrate them, you know, like, oh my God, I could actually have my taxes number. Yeah, you know, like those
Yes.
are nice, you know, and
Yes.
we should do that. And I think we forget that we're just in the role of, oh, we need clients and we need to post on Facebook and we need that we forget to have those small victories, you know, and celebrate them.
I feel like there's always something to poke at with your business. You know, there's always something to do. I feel like the biggest change for me was setting a calendar of this is the stuff I'm going to do today and nothing else. Is like telling myself to stop, because there's always like scroll through this Facebook group, or there's always, well, I can add more value here and make more connections. And it's like, you just have to say stop sometimes.
Yeah.
And if we don't, our kids do. They come in knocking on the door like, Mommy, can you put down your phone for a minute or get off the computer? And it's like, no, wait, the reason I was doing this was to, you know, be with you and myself. Yeah. Because I feel like it's, even if we're doing it for ourselves to get back our identity and to do something for ourselves, ultimately we still do it for them too, because moms are selfless.
And that's the motivation, you know. I think a lot of us that are moms, that's our motivation, you know, have the time for them. And then we get stuck in the tornado.
Yes.
And we have to remember to get out of the tornado and then come back later when they're sleeping.
Exactly. So is there anything you would do differently?
I think until now I'm just enjoying the journey, you know, and I think I'm a big believer of no, you know, I think everything in life happens for a reason, and you really think to every step, right or wrong, it has to be there for you to learn something or for you to be better, you know. So I'm not a big believer of, oh, I should have done this. No, I did because I thought it was the best, and then now I'm learning, and then it's continue, you know.
Yeah, I think most people, their answer is like, I wish I hadn't doubted myself as long. I wish I had just gotten started, you know. It's like spend less time in your head and more time just doing it, you know. Exactly. I think a lot of it is, I saw someone wrote like, give your B content, you know. You don't have to give an A, you know, especially perfectionists, but I feel like even, you know, you want to get it perfect before you let it out into the world. And it's like, sorry, someone's at my door. Can you hear the dog? Sorry.
Don't worry.
Wait till he stops. I'm like, is there a lady dog walking by? Like, he's an unfixed 1-year-old puppy, so he's a bit crazy. Yeah. So yeah, take a drink of water. Yeah, no, I think, you know, people being okay with just getting started and putting out something that maybe isn't perfect yet, and maybe just, you know, like I said, just start going, like throw a post out, don't overthink it, write it, proofread it. You know, I can't stand seeing typos, they make me crazy, but like proofread it, but then like get it out there, and see what resonates. You know, you're not going to nail it the first time. You know, you're not going to know exactly who your target client is the first time. Some people's businesses are very specific to like, this is my target client, but I don't feel like that's always the case. You know, I feel like in your market, in my market, like it can be so many different people. We didn't start the business as like, I help, you know, stay-at-home moms organize their lives. You know, I had a strategy call, so like that's very specific to start. You know, there really aren't a lot of variables with who you're going for, but you know, for you and I, you might want to work with moms or women, but like there's still a lot of different options in that bucket.
It is. Yeah, it is. And like you say, following that perfect, I think we, like you said, we're getting stuck in being perfect, and the reality is it's never going to be perfect. Like never. And it's okay also if you started something and maybe you say, you know what, maybe I want to add things in my business or take things out of my business.
Yes.
Maybe I realize that I want to offer web design like me, but now maybe I also want to offer VA services. You know, on top of that, why not? Like, you know, it's try and tweak and try and finding what brings you joy, because at the end of the day, people is gonna buy from you, your personality, and how you sell that joy of what you're doing. They're not gonna buy yourself, because there's many other web designers, there's many other VAs, many other coaches, but they choose in you because you make them feel in a different way, maybe more special, or maybe your personality is feeling better, or whatever, you know. So I think we should really think about that when we're doing business.
And giving yourself the permission to pivot, you know, if you like it now and then you stop liking it, like you don't have to continue doing it, you know, like finish the contracts and move on, you know, exactly. Or like I'm working with this type of client and I'm just not enjoying it anymore. Switch to a different market, you know, you're not stuck. And I feel like we're so used to being on a certain path, you know, like I'm in this industry as a corporate role. You don't, you know, you have a harder time, let's say, going from, you know, sales to finance or to HR. I mean, like, it's like, what is your degree in? What is all your experiencing in? That's what your job is. Like, you can't jump around departments as easily, but like when it's your own business, you have the freedom to say, you know, I'm going to do something completely different now. I'm going to change it all. I'm going to rebrand, redo everything. And, you know, it's totally up to you. And I feel like that's also the scary part of it, is that it's totally up to you.
It is the scary part, because you are at the end of the day the CEO of this, you know, and then you are the one that has to make the strategic decisions. And if they're not working, you are the one that taking also not the fault, you know, you are the responsible. So you need to tweak again. So but it's also part of the beauty, you know. I think when we change the mind of, instead of fear, we say challenge, instead of, you know, problem, we say let's bring the beauty, let's enjoy
opportunity.
Exactly, opportunity. Then things change, things are different, you know.
I definitely agree with that. Is there anything that you would recommend to somebody maybe starting out a business like yours, you know, something you'd recommend to them, maybe a book or a tool or a mindset, or, you know, something that somebody who's starting a business similar?
I think first thing is organize and automate as much as you can. Don't use time on things that are not gonna bring the money. Like onboarding a client and doing it for 2 hours, that's not good. So automate systems, and that's the first one. Like, don't use time and things that they don't really bring.
I love that, because you know what I do, which is systemize.
And I'm also like, I'm a soldier, you know, like because that's also your time is your currency. So be very careful. And a book that for me just, I don't know, I also a big believer that books come to your life when sometimes you need them, you know. And this book came in my life when I needed that boost of, and it was Rachel Hollis, The Girl Wash Your Face. And that book for me was like, thank you. I actually, then once I finished the book, I told my husband, I'm doing this.
Nice.
Like, that book for me was such a revelation of many things. A lot of things she said, because it was an audio actually, a lot of things she said, I was like, yeah, it's true. Like, I cry, I laugh, like, and like I said, once I finished, I said to my husband, I'm doing this. Like, I want your support because I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
That
reminds me of a book I just finished called Notivation, N-O, like motivation, but no. And it's by Dr. Kahle, K-A-H-L-E, but it was very similar, where she was just like, no, go do this, you know? And it was a very much like, I got this, you know? It was, she swears a little bit in it, but it was
it's fun.
Well, she was talking about, like, you know, men putting their, you know what, on the table, and, you know, our equivalent of that as females. It was very much female empowerment. I'm not sure about the Girl Wash Your Face one. I have to read that one still, but it, you know, a book that makes you go, I can do this. That's
exactly
very helpful.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And this is my fun question. If you had a billboard, what would it look like? What would it say?
I think it's that stay in your lane. And this is something I'm gonna tell you a story. 3 years ago, I started running. I started running because of my doctor. She was like, you need to start running, because I was with a lot of anxiety, and she was like, you need to run. I live in a town here in Denmark where running is a big tradition. So a lot of people run. And when I start running, I think I run my first 5K in like an hour and 10 minutes, like really slow. And I see
run.
people.
That's fast for me.
That's really, really slow.
Okay.
So people pass me by, people pass me by. And I remember feeling like, I'm never gonna get there. I'm so weak. People stronger than me. Everybody's better than me. Like a year after, I was already running like 5K in like 30 minutes. That's really good. So what I'm saying, stay in your lane, is that in business happens the same. When you start, then you see those people that have been in business for like a year or two, and you're like, oh, why they're having all those follows, all those DMs, because they've been in business 2 years, not 10 months or 2 months or 1 month. So you need to stay in your lane. You need to focus on what you're doing and the season you are in, and enjoy it. Enjoy that you're new. Enjoy that you're fresh for other people. They want to enjoy all those small followers. You ask them, answer those emails. Thank them for it because they're following you. Like, make those relationships. And maybe those that have 10,000 followers, they cannot do anymore because maybe they have a BA that they're answering all those messages, right?
Yeah.
So remember to focus on your lane, enjoy the ride, and be present in the phase you are in.
Yeah, and block out all the noise of people either saying you can't do it, or people like ahead of you that, you take it personally. Because I mean, yeah, everyone's seen the person that's 10 steps ahead of them, and it's hard not to take it personally, or compare yourself. Yeah.
Compare, yeah. I think that's the big thing, compare. Like when you compare with others that have been in business for longer, it's you cannot compare that. You cannot compare, and the most important is that you don't know what is behind the screen. You don't know the journey. You don't know how much they have cried. They have been angry. They have struggled. Maybe they're just putting the good things. I have a new client at 5K. I'm already in 6 figures.
Yeah.
Being those 6 figures, they're maybe buying a lot of sleep tonight, a lot of coffee, a lot of, crying, because that's the way it is. So don't compare yourself. Just enjoy what you're doing, stay in your lane, and yeah.
So would your billboard have someone running and have like the little lane around them?
Yeah,
because that's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, like you run in and then you see all those people behind
passing you. Yeah, somehow show them passing you.
And you're like, no.
Yeah, no, I can't run at all. So you're ahead of me, that's for sure. But, I always tell myself that if I did start, that it's okay to be awful at first and have to stop and take breaks or continue to walk.
Yeah, and even though now I've been running for 3 years, but there is this hill near my house that is actually it's a killer hill. Like, it's just hard. Even though I've been running for 3 years, sometimes it's like, I hate you. And then once I roll down, I'm like, okay, it wasn't that bad anyway.
That's awesome. You hate it every time?
Yeah, but it's part of them, so it's the struggle, and then you enjoy the way down. That's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm picturing the hill now. I'm sure your area is pretty mountainous, right?
Actually, it's very, very flat, but we have a little hill here that is the killer one. That's okay. Especially for running, but bikes or other, it's okay. But running, you can feel it in the legs.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, everything hurts me. So, is there anything you'd like to tell us about your business or something you're working on right now with your clients? So, any kind of new branding?
Yeah. Well, right now I'm working with clients with web design, and then I'm actually gonna be adding new services into my business, which is very exciting. Like I said before, I always been a 9-to-5 girl, and I'm always been like the PA, the secretary, the assistant. So I want to incorporate that in the business. I kind of miss that part of me, the helping others, the being more present for them. So I'm gonna incorporate some BA into the business. So it's exciting, it's new, and yeah, let's see.
Are you gonna keep it functioning around their website or
Also,
tech
yes.
services?
Yeah, the web design is gonna stay there. It's not gonna be, and then the VA is gonna be on top of the web design.
But will the VA services be tech related, or could they be anything?
Both.
Nice.
Both. So tech related, because if you have problems with your website or with a webinar or whatever, then they can help you there. And then also like other things. Yeah.
Have you heard of the term OBM?
Yeah. So that's, yeah.
I feel like you could almost use that as a level up. I know some people feel like a VA is the lower, like, starter level, and then the OBM is the higher, but I feel like you're already at the higher one, you know? So like an online business manager is kind of what is the full package, you know, and you could position yourself as a higher authority in that sense.
Yeah. So yes, probably. Yeah. So now it's that's what I'm working on. That's why I'm journaling and writing down and see if it's how to structure this new service. So yeah.
Is that how you do? Yeah. Is that how you do your mindset work? Is through journaling? Tell me about that.
I'm starting because I think my therapist told me last year, like, maybe you should start writing, and for a long time I was like, no, I don't think so. But then I started little by little, especially those days when you have so much in your mind and you need to put it out there. And I'm the kind of person that I'm it's very difficult for me to share things. Like they just get inside, and that's the place, you know, like they don't come out that often. So they need to come out somehow. So I started to put them down in paper, and I think it's a nice thing to do. I'm still getting the hang of it. I'm not there yet, but I'm little by little.
Is that how you work out, like, you know, if we were, let's say, in an office and you had an idea, we'd go to our coworker and kind of like chat it out, because of the online space, and there's, you know, our husbands don't always understand what's going on, you know, like, is that how you kind of work through what you want to do next and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that's how I've been doing it. Yeah, because like you said, my husband, no. And then I don't have that, all my girlfriends, they're in 9 to 5, so they don't really understand. So I've been writing a lot.
Do you have any like online communities that you kind of work in?
Well, I have some in Facebook, and I started to find others. I want to find somebody near me, you know. I don't think I see a lot of people here. I also live in a very small town here in Denmark, so I'm trying to find if there's somebody near me that we can make like a little business group, you know. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm also in the middle of nowhere, so it is difficult.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, thank goodness for the internet, not only for our businesses, but also because we can talk to people, you know. You know, even if we have to coffee chat like this, like, it's sitting face to face is definitely more, you know, satisfying. But at worst comes to worst, video chatting is fantastic.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
That's awesome. Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This was fantastic.
Oh, thanks you for having me. It's been such a joy. I really, really appreciate it that you have me. I'm feeling very honored. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was great learning about your business journey, and then also what you can offer people. And I think that that's definitely something that people skim over when they start a business, is they just kind of like jump into starting it, and they miss, you know, their why, and they miss their, you know, really creating something around who they are, so that they can, you know, they think like, okay, I've set up a business, people are going to show up, you know, like, I'm open for business, where is everyone, you know, and it's not like that.
It's not working that way.
Yeah, so people can find you on your website, which is www.barbarajorgensen.com. I said that right again, right?
Yeah, it's Jorgensen, it's fine.
And it'll be linked below. And then your Instagram, which is Barbara Jorgensen Studio. Lovely.
Yes.
So those are fun to check out, and they're very beautiful. All right. Well, is there any kind of freebie, or, you know, something that you can offer the listeners, you know, something that you kind of do, like, if, you know, I see you have some free trainings on your Instagram?
No, but you can always get into I have this VIP club where I send newsletters, and then I want to start doing Zoom calls with my newsletter subscribers, so we can have like a little group of, we can get together once a month and talk and just have a coffee chats. I think that's nice. So if you get into the newsletter, then we can have a little chat and a mastermind.
That sounds awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you.
All right.